All right, welcome to Talking Investing. I'm Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. I just wanted to bring you guys a quick update on Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. We had a bunch of miners hit a new all-time low today, so I wanted to go through that and bring that to your attention. Also, I wanted to go through the price action on Bitcoin today. So we're going to talk about those things, and we're going to look at an indicator that I have not used before. So if you're new to the channel, remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Also, if everybody could please smash the like button. It helps the channel a lot, and I appreciate it. Lastly, if you want to become a member to the channel, you can hit the join button on the YouTube page. So if you don't see a join button, you should see a link below. Members get some members-only content. In addition to that, we do a once-a-week members-only live stream. And also, the members get to pick a video each week for me to do a deep dive on. So, hope to see you there. Okay, let's talk about Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. I'm going to start on the big board. This was a red day pretty much across the board. As usual, there's a few outliers. So, we did have three things in the green. DigiHost was up actually 7%, but still very near its lows. So, for the most part, we were very, very red. And several stocks today hit their new either 52-week low, which really is their 22-month low. It's coming up on a 2-year low now, all of 2021 and all of 2022. And for a lot of these miners, it's actually their all-time low. So we're seeing some historic price action. Things are not going well from a stock price standpoint for the Bitcoin miners, to the point where I know a lot of people have given up in the last week or two, and the pressure continues to go downward on these stocks to the point where, like I said, I'll list out the ones that hit their new lows. I still think we're in the bottoming out process. I think we went lower than I expected because of the FTX situation, which obviously turned everything upside down. Now, there could be more of those in the future, so there's no telling in the short term how low we go. But I am still looking for Bitcoin to do, in the medium term and the long term, what we thought it was going to do. So I don't think the overall narrative has changed, in my opinion. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm just telling you guys what I think, because I know there's a lot of people getting very discouraged and giving up and thinking that it's game over. I'm starting to see that a lot in the comments section. And so obviously I don't know the future any better than you guys do, but as I look at the big picture, I don't see any of the fundamentals that have changed in the Bitcoin narrative. I do see the cryptocurrency exchanges having continued problems. I see regulations ahead that are unfortunately necessary, I think, in order to avoid those problems in the future. And in the meantime, the price of Bitcoin and the price of the Bitcoin miners is getting caught in the middle. At this point, I feel comfortable saying there will be some of these Bitcoin miners that just don't make it to the finish line. The debt that they have is just too much. I did a video earlier today on that. So if you want to check that out, I posted that earlier today. Okay, so just quickly, I'm going to go through them. Iris Energy. Iris Energy got down to $1.93 today. That is its 52-week low. That is its all-time low. Bitfarms got down to 66 cents today. That's its 2-year low. Hut 8 got down to $1.19 today. That's its 52-week low as well as its 2-year low. Argo Blockchain got down to 77.7 cents today. This is by far their all-time low on the NASDAQ. This was a $19.35 stock. Hive Blockchain, although it finished in the green on the day, it did dip down to $2.25, which is its new adjusted all-time low. Remember, they did a reverse split a while back. And then lastly, CleanSpark. CleanSpark today got down to $2.30. That is a new low for them. I'm actually calling that a new all-time low for them. They did trade as a different company before they were ever a Bitcoin miner, but they have ditched that business, and since they've become a Bitcoin miner 2 years ago, this is by far their all-time low. Several other companies were within a few pennies, so almost every single Bitcoin miner is somewhere in the neighborhood of its 2-year low or all-time low. Their stock prices have been decimated. They're all down between 90 and 99%. So my question, and what I continue to do, is I try to look for stuff inside of there that are healthy companies that are just being dragged down with the market in general, with Bitcoin in specific, and then with this short-term crypto exchange collapse that's happening. So all those things are negative factors that are not really company specific. So inside of here, in my opinion, there's some companies that represent some very good value. Obviously, this is not financial advice. I can't tell you which one of these to buy and which ones to sell, but I do think these are worth having on your watch list and taking a look at. I have been very slowly adding to my positions, just so that you guys know. I just try to keep updated from time to time. I've slowed way down on averaging in only because we're now a full year plus into basically averaging into these stocks going down. So I am being a little more thrifty, but there were a few this week that I did think, in my opinion, hit a spot where I wanted to buy some more, so I did so. Okay, this Bitcoin on the 15-minute time frame. So as always, you'll see an orange line. That is where Bitcoin was when the equity markets in the US closed yesterday. So Bitcoin was at about 16,565. As I'm making this video, and it's just after the US equity markets closed today, Bitcoin's currently at 16,724. So, it's up from yesterday, and you can see Bitcoin is going sideways, but the Bitcoin miners continue to go down in a big way. I mean, we saw on the big board, there were a lot of companies that were down 8, 9, 10, 11%. So once again, this is another day where the miners are lagging Bitcoin. We seem to be going back and forth on that equation. So here you'll see these are 15-minute candles. We have a bunch of green ones in a row, but really this only represents a couple of hours. So a little bit of momentum the last couple hours. We'll see what happens. Very much mostly sideways activity. This is Bitcoin on the 4-hour time frame. It basically shows the same thing. It's a little easier to see that really since yesterday we've just been absolutely sideways. This is the first 4-hour candle that maybe looks like it's breaking to the upside, but way too soon to tell and not enough momentum. I will tell you, this is the RSI on the 4-hour time frame. So you'll see we bumped into this a few days ago and got rejected right here at neutral. 50 is neutral on the RSI. So we went back down and now we're right back to 50 again. So I think the next short period of time is going to tell if potentially we have a little bit of a run up or if we're going to keep getting rejected at this 50 line and heading down. And if so, then ultimately we would probably need to retest oversold territory down here at 30 or under 30. However, there is a chance that we jump up above this for a bit and have a little bit of a run. So again, super ambiguous on the technicals, which is why I have not been spending a lot of time on them for the last couple of weeks. This has more so been external effects on Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners, and in specific, obviously, the FTX situation. Okay, so quickly, this is Bitcoin on the 1 week. So you're gonna see the entire rise and fall here. If you look back to this point right here, this was March of 2020 when we shut the world down for a short period of time. So this yellow line is the 200-week moving average. I've been talking about this for the last several months. We've only ever hit this line 2 other times prior to this in the history of Bitcoin. And you can see that we really just flashed right below it and went right straight back above it. And obviously, these were extreme conditions back in March of 2020. This time, however, we crossed below this 200-week moving average line back in June. It's now November. This is something new for Bitcoin. We are now well under the 200-week moving average for the last 4 or 5 months. So that's a 4-year average, basically. So Bitcoin is below its 4-year average price. That's one of those indicators that is telling me that, this cycle that we've had did not really repeat itself this time. So we're a little bit in uncharted territories. Having said that, I do think that this time around, Bitcoin is much more mature. So I still don't think any of the fundamentals have changed in Bitcoin, and I think adoption will continue. But I think for the reasons that we've talked about, it's going slowly, and this is a very brutal time, and there's just no telling where it's going to end. So I want to show one more indicator, and I have not looked at this yet on the channel. Okay, so this is Bitcoin on the 1-day time frame. This is the 300-week moving average. So you're going to see a green line here. We've been looking at the 200-week moving average. The 300-week moving average, we've never gone below in the history of Bitcoin. So you'll see that on Wednesday the 9th, we did go below this, and we've been below it ever since. That's just about a week now that we've been below this 300-week moving average. And to put that in perspective, that's getting close to a 6-year average. So when you look at it this way, although we have not had our full 85% pullback for a quote-unquote crypto winter, in my opinion, as I look at it this way, this is by far the biggest bear market that Bitcoin has ever had to endure. And I do think that this is the final flush out of all of the things that need to happen in order for the big institutional money to finally come in the wave that I think they will come in the future. But we've talked about the things that need to happen, mostly regulation on the crypto exchanges, regulation on stable coins. I think we're going to need to see sooner or later here, there will be a Bitcoin ETF. That's going to be a big factor. So there's a lot of catalysts ahead. I won't list them all right now, but all those things still lie ahead. In the meantime, we are definitely absolutely suffering and lingering here. We are now below the 300-week moving average. So I'm going to zoom out to show you that we actually did touch this line. This is March 16th, 2020. So on one day, we flash crashed down to this line, and obviously that was when we shut the world down. So, that was a fairly dramatic set of circumstances, and even in that situation, we only flash crashed down to this for a day and then recovered. So this situation here, where we're now one full week under the 300-week moving average, is an outlying event, or it's something new. If I go all the way back, and you'll see really this picks up here, because it takes 6 years into this thing existing to even have a 300-week moving average. So we've never, if you go all the way back to the beginning, we have never even close to touched this line before. And of course, it could always get worse before it gets better. Right? I did think that the flash crash of the summer of 17,500 was going to hold. We've broken below that. We're down to 16,700 right now. I do think that's also because of an outlying event in the FTX situation. FTX was looked at as the example of what to do. So for them to have to file bankruptcy and fall apart like this, it does have big ripple effects, and we have been feeling the pain. So I don't know when that pain ends. I don't think it has massive systemic contagion to the rest of the entire market. It certainly really hasn't spilled over into the equity markets. I think we're closer to the end of this little crisis than we are to the beginning of it. But really, in the long term, we need some of these big boxes to check off. In other words, we need to get some of these regulations up and running. We need to get a Bitcoin ETF. In the meantime, there's no telling if we're going to hit a lower low. If we do, I think it will be for a short period of time. Again, I think this has been a short period of time since we went under our summer lows that I thought were going to hold. So the next 1 or 2 weeks is going to tell. Did we just pop below this for a short-term crisis, or is this just another lower low and we're going to be setting more lower lows? In either case, I remain bullish in the long term, but again, this is not financial advice. Obviously, this is an unbelievably volatile asset, and the Bitcoin miners are a leveraged play on this volatile asset, so please be careful trading any of this stuff. So that's my quick update on Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to subscribe to the channel and smash the like button. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next video.